Feeling overwhelmed by your new leadership role? You're not alone. When I first became a leader, I had almost no guidance. That's why I created this series, The Wisdom of Leadership Experience. It's packed with in-the-trenches advice I wish I'd had back then. While there's no one-size-fits-all approach to leadership, I'll share strategies and tips that have worked for me over the years. My name is Ian Menderman, and I have over 20 years leadership experience. I've been a leader in multiple settings, from the military to startups. Most of my career has been spent leading teams in the corporate world, including a Fortune 50 company. I hold an MBA from the University of Illinois with specializations in leadership and data analytics. This leadership journey is yours, but you don't have to go it alone. Join me for the wisdom of leadership experience. You found your next superstar employee. Congratulations! Recruiting, interviewing, and extending an offer of employment is no easy task. It is time-consuming and expensive. I've seen an estimated cost of $4,000 for each hire. The first 90 days are critical for new hires. Think of it as a make or break period. They decide if this is the right place for them and if they see themselves growing in the role. That's why investing in your efforts to ensure new employees have a great start is extremely important. In this video, let's focus on onboarding new employees and how you, as a hiring manager, can confidently get your team member off to a great start. To be confident in your onboarding, you need to create a structured plan. Creating a detailed agenda for the first week or two provides the structure you and your new team member need. We're talking about more than just paperwork and company policies. This is about creating a positive first impression, fostering connections with colleagues, and equipping your new hire with the knowledge and tools to excel. HR handles company-wide onboarding tasks, but your plan can pick up from there. Focus on the specific needs of your team and your new hire's role. Don't wait until your new hire walks in the door. Sit down with your current team members and brainstorm. What would have been helpful to know when they started? What onboarding elements would they have found most valuable? You might make creating the draft onboarding a stretch assignment for a team member. Speaking of existing team members, I always designate a team member to be a mentor or guide for a new employee. This person will be a resource for questions, a source of support, and a helping hand to navigate team dynamics. Look for someone experienced, positive, and willing to share their knowledge. I document my expectations, which I share, and gain their agreement to be a mentor. Using a mentor can help a team member grow professionally, and when they do well, I will leverage company recognition programs to reward them, and I make sure their efforts are well documented in their end-of-year performance review. Now that you have the new mentor identified, let's look at what typically should be included in an onboarding document. As soon as IT has created my new team member's email address, I send them a meet and greet meeting invite for the morning of the first day in the role. I invite the team to join me in welcoming their new teammate. The agenda includes introductions, a walkthrough of the department or team onboarding document, how the team and the department are organized, and what their designated mentor can assist them with. If you are in the office, give them a tour of the building, introducing them to additional employees, especially the department's admin assistant. Admins are often the key to getting things done and are a must for introductions. Typically, I will set up a 30 to 60 minute one-on-one meeting with them at the end of each day of their first week to check in on how they're progressing with their onboarding and answer any questions they have. I also use the first one-on-one to discuss performance expectations and how I will gather feedback on their performance. You have to judge how long to keep the daily one-on-ones, but after the first week, I typically shift to a once-a-week one-on-one. After they've been in the role for some time, you can evaluate if a once-per-week one-on-one can drop to bi-weekly. I make it a priority to have a one-on-one with all my team members at least every 2 weeks. These meetings let them know you're investing in their success. Also, during the first week, I will set up a courtesy meet and greet with my leader and perhaps their leader. This helps your leaders to know who the team member is and what they're going to be doing for the organization. If your department or team has documented team norms or agreements, You'll want to point to them from your onboarding documentation. These might include how to request time off, expectations for calling meetings, such as always including an agenda, and how to locate the team calendars. If such information is not documented, be sure to verbally talk them through how the team and the department do business. It's common for there to be a training requirement that must be completed before a new team member is allowed to access certain sites, tools, and/or software. Provide instructions on what training needs to be completed and how to access learning resources. I include instructions on how to request software and list any software they need to get on their computer. If you use shared drives to save documents for group access, then be sure to include instructions on how to gain access. Your onboarding plan should also identify key stakeholders. These are people who the team interacts with frequently and who may be dependent on your team's work for their work to get done, or vice versa. Provide a list of names and titles in your onboarding document and ask your new teammate to set up meetings with each person. I provide my team member a list of questions that I want them to ask each stakeholder, and I set the expectation that they will document the answers. Some good questions to include are: what are some of the biggest challenges the department is facing in the near future? How does your team collaborate and partner with my team? Are there any products or services that our teams are dependent on each other for? Is there someone on my team you or your team members most often interact with? If you were me, what are one or two things you would be sure to do within the first 90 days on the job? When we meet in our one-on-ones, I ask them to share what they learned. By doing this, your new team member gets up to speed on who is who and the organizational lay of the land. Oh, and it's a really good idea to give the stakeholders a heads up on who will be calling meetings with them and provide them with the list of questions. Now that your new team member has a solid orientation to the team and have all the tools they need to do their job, on days 4 and 5, I have them job shadow their mentor. They attend meetings together. The mentor will make introductions, particularly to people we most often work with. This gives them a little more understanding of the work in progress and the culture of the team and the department. After the first 5 days, it's time to start assigning work and for the new team member to meet with their key stakeholders. We don't want to overwhelm the new team member by assigning them a ton of work right off the bat. We should ease them into the team's workflow. I will look for smaller projects and/or parts of an existing project I can assign. Remind them that you and your mentor have their back should they need support. After you see how they handle work assignments, then you can decide when they can take on more work. As your new team member gets more comfortable in their role, it's important that you leverage your one-on-ones to provide feedback on their performance. When you have one-on-ones with the mentor, get their feedback on what they see the employee doing well and where their opportunities lie. Also, reach out to the people they are working with on projects. Gradually, I add more work onto their plate until their workload is close to the rest of the team. There you have it. By doing some work up front to create an onboarding plan, identifying a mentor, and meeting with your new team member regularly, your new team member will feel supported and more likely to stay on the team. Additionally, by bringing in your team to help you onboard, you are providing professional development opportunities for your existing team members as well. It's a win-win. Now, go out there and lead with confidence.